Hey everyone, Coach Keith here. Here we are, another great fight study. This one, where I'm going to do heavyweights again. It's not just because I'm obsessed and I love heavyweights. I just thought it'd be a good fight to do. It's what I've been wanting to do. And yeah, so let's jump right into it so we don't waste any time. We are going to watch a lot of it slow motion. So if you appreciate boxing and boxing technique, you'll enjoy it. But if you really don't care, then you can watch another video. But let me tell you, if you care at all, you're going to get a lot of value out of this one. Some really basic stuff, some slightly advanced stuff, but man, just some solid fundamentals here that are so important to get ingrained in you if you are, a beginner boxer, an intermediate boxer, a coach, anything. Maybe wanting to get into coaching, super important stuff. All right, so this fight is Evander Holyfield versus Buster Douglas. And this is Buster Douglas coming off of his win over a big historic upset against Mike Tyson. So now Buster has the heavyweight title and Holyfield is challenging for the heavyweight title. All right. It's a short fight. It's only 3 rounds. That's why we're going to watch it slow. I haven't yet got it together to kind of pick and edit a 12-round fight or longer fight so that therefore it's not like a 12-hour video, right? Because I'll probably watch the whole thing in slow motion. And it's important to watch this stuff in slow motion because think about it. You always watch it full speed, you miss a lot of things. You got to let it slow down and let it solidify so you can really get it. All right, so let's get into it. Now, going into this fight, it's important to note that Holyfield is about a couple inches shorter than Douglas, and he has about maybe 4 inches less of reach. And also, Douglas outweighs him by about 30 or 40 pounds. All right. Now, what I want you to notice here is that this is a shorter guy, shorter reach, shorter height, lighter weight. Boxing, somebody longer, somebody taller, somebody bigger. All right. Because when you're shorter, you think you have to fight like Joe Frazier or Mike Tyson. You don't. I want you to see how you can box, how you can use your jab. These are the important fundamentals that were taught to me that I didn't listen to enough. And if you listen to it here, it can make a big difference for you when you box someone that's bigger than you and longer. All right, so let's get into it. Now what I want you to see is Holyfield puts himself in a position, see he's doing it already, where he is at a certain range. What's that range? The range is right on the edge of the battlefield. So right there, the only thing that can hit him is Douglas's jab. If he takes half a step out, he's out of everything. And if he takes about 2 steps in with maybe a double jab, he can connect. So watch. So, see, pulled back a little bit. There's a jab. Douglas steps out. But watch how he maintains that range. He'll inch a little bit out, inch a little bit back. But watch Holyfield, how he will maintain that. Because think about it. He makes the only variable he has to worry about. He eliminates all possible punches except one punch, the jab. So watch for that. And watch how he overcomes the distance. He's at the edge of the battlefield. He doesn't come in with one bomb. He comes with a double jab, right hand, left hook. The right hand didn't land. It hit the shoulder. The left hook landed. Very important concept for beginner fighters to get is 1, 1, 2, 3. If he would have stopped on the 2 and said, oh, the 2 didn't land, or my double jab didn't really land either, he would have missed the 3. Now, that was a beautiful move by Bo, Bo. Watching a lot of Riddick Bowe as well. That was a beautiful feint by Douglas. There's that 3 landing. Beautiful feint by Douglas, and then he jabs. And that's why it works. He shot a feint. So watch. Feint, jab. Now watch. In that situation right there, like I said, Holyfield was maintaining the range right on the edge of the battlefield, so he has to worry about the jab. Douglas, smart. He feinted the jab, and Holyfield reacted to it, and then he shot a jab that did connect. But Holyfield being a smart boxer, it's very important for everyone to understand this, that you cannot always maintain the exact distance or a little bit out. Think about this. If, let's say, let me use this pen as an example. If I'm always here, right, and forgive me, use 2 pens as an example. So here's one boxer, here's another boxer, all right? If they're always maintaining this distance, and I know this guy's always doing this. This is Holyfield, right? See that? Always going back a little bit. Then when this guy adjusts, all he has to do is just adjust with that. And then he can overcome that to land other shots. Now, think about this. What does Holyfield do? He's pulling out, but now watch. He's going to do something else. He's going to smother inside. Very important. Changes the range. Smothers inside, and actually smothers inside of the left hook. See that? Beautiful. He didn't necessarily know that was coming, but he stepped inside of it, and he was being defensively responsible for running into a straight shot or an uppercut, and the hook goes around behind his head, doesn't even land. Super important concept. So think about that. He's at the edge of the jab. He only has to worry about the jab. He's catching the jab, slightly stepping out the jab. Then he got feinted, he got hit, and he says, okay, he's starting to read my range. Let me smother in. Change the picture on him. Very difficult to fight someone that does that. Super little things. And the turn happens. He smothers in and turns. And it was a mutual turn. Both of them turned each other. The reason why Holyfield would want to turn that situation is because he's fighting a bigger man that's heavier. So he doesn't want the bigger and heavier man to lay on him. And then also the reason why Douglas would turn is because, think about it, the short guy just got inside. You don't want to leave him there. You want to turn him. You know, you don't want to let him just stay in position and sit there and get some work in. All right? So let's get into it. Holyfield has that great rhythm. Loose bounce. Nice. And he slipped to the inside of a right hand, came back. So think about how that's... Oh, here we go. I jumped too far back. Anyway, think about how that's not necessarily standard perfect boxing technique. You know, I don't teach people necessarily slip on the inside of a right hand, because oftentimes it can loop down and hit you. And you'll see that later that Holyfield is looking for that. But against Douglas. Now, but watch. Holyfield, play it here, slips. He shot, I believe he shoots a jab, and then that shoulder's up, the right hand comes, and it skids over that shoulder because he's got that chin down, jab, skids over that shoulder, goes down. He's essentially on the inside of the shot, but think about skid over his shoulder so he doesn't have to worry about arcing down. And remember, if the right hand's totally straight, you can slip either way on it, all right? But anyway, here, and then bam, gets in a position, come back with his right hand. Boom. Inside of the other shot. Now, important there. Douglas puts out the jab. Think about it. It's like a cobra putting out, striking. It's not necessarily connecting its strikes, but it's striking. If you are a longer boxer, let's think about this with Douglas. You do want to do that. Okay. Think about, for instance, Muhammad Ali. Right. He had a very low punch connect percentage, all right? So did Sugar Ray Robinson. And of course, Ali based his style off of Sugar Ray Robinson and Willie Pep. His punches off of Robinson and his movement off of Willie Pep. And if you don't believe me, watch Willie Pep. He moves exactly like, or rather, Ali moves exactly like Willie Pep. And if you watch Robinson throw his combos and you see Ali throw his combos, it looks pretty much the same. Anyway, both Robinson and Ali, low landing percentage. And it's not because they're bad boxers, all right? Because, for instance, like Mayweather is a great boxer. He has the highest, I think. And then I think actually number 2 in punch percentage landing or whatever is Joe Louis. It's just styles. It's styles because think about it. You put out this jab, this striking. Your point is not necessarily to land it. Sure, if they run their face into it, that's cool. That's fine. But it's a deterrent. It's something in your face that you got to think about. It's going to make you, again, there's a variable you have to worry about now versus someone just standing there. Think about someone just standing there. And then when you come in, now they're reacting instead of snap. You're like, man, it's like someone shooting shots at you. Oh, man, okay. The shots are going off. Let me watch out for it. So just remember that. You don't always need to be landing the jab. Putting out the jab is important, especially as a long person, to establish the range. It's almost like a stick to a blind man. It's going to tell you your range. And then let's say, like I said, they run their head into it, or you step in a little bit further next time with the next one, or double it up and you land one of them. Then you know you can land the right hand. You can land some other stuff. But again, Holyfield's right on the edge of that range. Jab, right hand, puts the 3 for the body, and Douglas pushes him off. See that nice bounce, that nice rhythm. Double jab, bam. Another little beautiful thing there, all right? I know I'm really dissecting it, but watch. Catch the jab, double, steps out a little bit, outside the hook. Beautiful, isn't it? Steps in with the right hand, misses the left hook. Douglas is changing his movement, walking off to the right side. Jab. Good. Nice double. Didn't land, but it's a good way for him to change it up, for Douglas to change it up. Double that jab off to the side. Not going in necessarily, but off to the side. Nice. You see Douglas leaning over to that right side. He wants that slip to that side. You can tell he's been thinking about it. Holyfield slips the inside of the jab, comes back with a left hook. Important. He slips the inside of that jab. Some people say don't do that because they're open for the right hand. But if you come back with something, not necessarily. Boom. Nice. Again, misses the right hand, lands the left hook. Remember that. Just because you miss 1-2 punches doesn't mean you're not going to land the third punch. Holyfield catching. Nice. Catching and slipping. Mixing up his defense. Remember, as a boxer, you want to have about 5 ways to defend every single punch. Now, does that mean when you start, you need to have 5 ways to defend every single punch? No. But eventually, even if you're a novice boxer, your first 10 amateur fights, you probably need to understand the 5 ways to defend each punch. So you see Holyfield, he's relying on stepping out sometimes of the jab. He's catching the jab, or some people would call that parrying, but I prefer to call it catching. And then also slipping his head. And which way? He slips it this way. And we also saw him slip it that way, come back with a 3. All right? So right there, that's a few different ways. Jab right hand, missed it. And Douglas did a good job of slipping and stepping off. There's that jab by Douglas. Good. And now see, remember, Douglas was leaning over to which side all the time? He was leaning over to the right side. And Holyfield saw that. He's a smart boxer. He saw it. So 1-1. All right, so right there, in that position, Douglas might be looking to come back with a shot. He does a little bit later. So he might be looking to come back with a shot. Even if he's not, though. If he just lays over there on that side and stays there and the feet stay there, what does Holyfield have? He has his right hand. So he knows he's leaning over that side. He's on the alleyway. He's in the alleyway of the right hand. And but Douglas, being smart, kudos to Douglas. He's a good fighter. He's a skilled fighter. He steps out. Bam. See that? Changed it up on him. Bam. But that's the key right there. Is if someone's walking off to your left side, what are you going to throw? You need to throw something with your left. A left hook. Or a 45 style shot with this one. So here, bam, bam, boom. Douglas is close enough to be hit by it, walking off. Bam. And he wanted to slip again because he thought another jab was going to come. Holyfield's smart. He knew that Douglas was reading the jab. Bam. And remember, someone's going off to that side, walk them into that shot. Nice catch and nice slip in. Again, there's a different answer, right? So instead of just slipping the jab and staying put with your feet, slipping and stepping in that Holyfield does to get inside. And he could have used it, but Douglas, being a good boxer, he did something about it. So slip, step in, the arm is out. He used that to turn and put Holyfield off balance. Something I used to hate as a short boxer people do to me, right? Because, move my head, whatnot. And instead of me making the miss and then being able to make them pay, I would make them miss and then their arm would be out and they would use that to control me. All right, and that's what Douglas just did. Nice catch. Boom. See that? Holyfield changing the range up. See that? Stepping out a little bit. Creeping in. Nice. Douglas changing up his movement. There's that double jab by Holyfield. For the single that Douglas gives, Holyfield gives a double, and that's how he gets in. Beautiful double there. And Douglas did that good job of stepping out. Now he's walking off. By the way, that's a good time to attack somebody. Let's just mention that. So, a lot of times, this happens. Watch. He walks off. He's not necessarily in a position to throw. Good time to get on top of somebody. Jab by Douglas. Oh, nice. So see that basic 1-2 for the body. So Holyfield's been doing the jabs up top, the jabs up top, the jabs up top, the double jabs up top, the right hand up top, all right? But then, boom, jab for the body, 2 for the body. He landed both of them, all right? Just changing up the level. That's all it was. Super basic. But how often do we not do that? And do we need to do that? All the time.
One of the important things for Holyfield here is he's using the jab a lot, Steve. Can't let it land.
Nice rhythm by Holyfield. Good. Didn't land the first jab. Might have landed the second one. But see, Douglas likes that lean over that right side. I wonder why. I wonder what he's trying to set up. If you've seen this fight before, you know what he's trying to set up. Nice. 1, 2, 3 for the body. One for the body, 2 for the body, 3 for the body. Again, changing it up. And if it works once, do it again. But then put a little variance on it and then do it again. Nice. That's a real super basic but case in point thing that I want you to see. Is Douglas's one jab to Holyfield's double. Douglas's one jab to Holyfield's double. Lands it. See that? If he would have thrown one and stopped and said, oh, he's not close enough for me to hit him, he wouldn't have got it. He landed the next one. All right? Remember, as an amateur boxer, that jab is scoring you. That's winning you the fight, period. As a pro, it can be causing damage. It can swell up an eye. It can control. It can set up a knockout, or it could just control somebody to keep them from knocking you out and you setting the pace of the fight. Nice shot inside there with the right hand by Holyfield. Nice rhythm. Triple jab, right? So now Douglas thinks, okay, Holyfield's going to stop on the double, right? And if you as a boxer throw a double, or if you as a coach have your boxer only throw doubles or only singles, the other boxer is going to know it's a single. This guy only throws singles. This girl only throws doubles. But if they don't know if it's a double, triple, whatever, you're going to get it. So right here. Doesn't land the first, but lands the second and the third. See that? Beautiful. And that's frustrating. I know, Douglas, it is. When I did it right, it could be frustrating to people. And when people did it to me, it's frustrating. Because remember, it doesn't feel good to get hit by a jab. You know, it's probably not going to knock you out. At least a jab by most people wouldn't. But it doesn't feel good. Nice. Now, Holyfield changed his attack. He stepped in with a left hook. So think about it. He's been disciplined with the jab the whole round, right? Basically, jab. A lot of things start with a jab. 80% of the time, he's starting with a jab. But about 20% of the time, he's starting with some different shots. Again, important. No matter that the jab is the most important punch in boxing, it doesn't mean that's the punch you always start with. All right? You start with it 80% of the time, but you got to set it up different ways. You got to feint, like Douglas did earlier. He feinted the jab and then jab, and that's how he's able to land the jab. And then also you need to start with some different shots from time to time. Very important to practice as a fighter. 80% starting with a jab, or start with a feint and then a jab, and then sometimes leading with some different shots, and you'll catch people. Again, watch Holyfield. See that? Little step out by Holyfield. Maintain the range. Catch, little step out. So he only has to worry about the jab. Think about how easy that job is. Because, it's like with our model, in our franchise, Kepner Boxing, our sparring is titrated so that the first time you spar, you only spar with jabs. So you don't have to worry about a jab. All right? So think about it. He's literally making this fight, this heavyweight title fight, that. He's making it so closed that it's one punch he has to worry about. Pretty impressive, isn't it? But we can all apply this. You can all apply it. Short, tall, and there's the double, the triple. See that again? The single didn't land. The second, the third did. Very important stuff. If you can take one thing from this video, double, triple jab, something instilled in me that I didn't do enough of, can make a big difference for yourself. Now, this is important here, is that Douglas wanted to catch Holyfield with the hook. Because remember, when you're catching punches, you can be open for that hook coming around. We talked about that in the last fight, right? But because Holyfield is maintaining his range that he wants, all right, he's at the end of Douglas's punches, but he's maintaining that distance where he knows when he's on the battlefield, he knows when he's off the battlefield. He knows what those inches are. So therefore, he knows I catch that jab, I'm out of range of the hook, I'm going to step out just literally that much to get out of range of the hook. So watch. Douglas throws the jab, and then he wants to get the hook, but it doesn't land. And it would have landed if Holyfield was closer. But Holyfield put himself in a position where, again, he's got one variable. He has to worry about the jab, and that's it. Because of what he's doing with his feet. Nice. 1, 2, and try to put the 3 for the body afterwards. Brought his head offline with the 2, and dipped down a little bit, making Douglas miss his right hand. Nice. See, sometimes it's a single. It's not always a double. Because remember that, 1, 2 for the body. That hurt. Because I have this trouble too. It's like, okay, double jab, that's the key. So double jab, double jab, double jab. But if you always throw doubles, the other person's going to figure it out. It's just a pattern that they can adjust to. So, okay, they know, okay, it's going to be 2 jabs. So I'll step further out to get away from their double jab. There's a double that time. So he did a single earlier, double that time, did a triple earlier. Remember that. Not one answer is the key. It's putting all this together. Changing the patterns up and doing it in an intelligent way, using your technology. Ooh, there it is. Missed a single, landed the second. Missed the first, landed the second. And see, Douglas wanted that hook again, but he didn't get it. Why? Because of Holyfield's position. He's far enough out that he can launch his attack with a double, triple jab and land something, but be out of the range of every punch except for the jab. Nice. Led in with the right hand for the stomach, and it did the job. He saw the opening. See, a lot of times Holyfield's creating openings with his combinations. He's also seeing openings. So remember it's an important thing to understand both. That together he's creating openings by throwing combinations because it puts people in positions. And like earlier with the 1-1-2 didn't land, the 3 landed. Did he see that opening? Did he go 1-1-2 and then say, "Oh, I see an opening for a 3," and then throw a 3? No, he shot 1-1-2-3. The 1-1 and the 2 didn't land, but the 3 did. Earlier, though, just a second ago, with Douglas opening up and him leading with that 2 for the body, that was the opening he saw. So remember, doing both. If you wait all night to look for openings, most of the time, the clock's going to run out and you're going to lose. And if all you do is try to create openings, well, you might miss a great opportunity. And one thing to notice, too, this is more so maybe for the beginner boxer, is that notice how there's some head movement. And not even necessarily because they saw a punch coming, but they're just moving it because it's important to have that type of poise when you're in there. Remember, an object in motion tends to stay in motion, so you want to keep things moving, not over the top, not wasting energy, but just a little bit. See that little slip by Douglas, put his head, and to give kudos to Holyfield, did the thing that would be the answer if someone's just tick-tocking their head a little bit. You see someone tick-tock one side, tick-tock the other side, they're probably going to come back over here. Pop! Hits him on that side. Hits him when he comes back over. Let's watch that real quick. And again, I'm not down on Douglas here, man. It's just, it's sharp by Holyfield. Here. He's going to go over here. Bam! Hits him with the jab. Right? Little details. Nice. Stepped in with the hook. So think about that. He's been setting up a lot of double, triple jabs all night. And then, bam. That's actually a feint. Made it look like a jab. Here. Bam. See that? Just with his body posture is what set that up. Like that. Boom. Didn't even move the arm. It was just here. Bam. Here. Bam. A little bit of this to set that up. Jabs for the body makes him miss the hook by dipping off. He's reacting. There's some anticipation going on. But there's also some reaction. A lot of times Douglas is honestly anticipating more, meaning he's guessing what's coming next, and sometimes that puts him in bad spots. He's guessing it's a double. He's guessing it's a single jab. He's guessing it's this punch, and it's not. And Holyfield is a little bit more in the situation where he is in the zone. He is flowing, and he is reacting, and he is literally in the moment. Because remember, anticipation is one thing, but trying to guess what someone's going to do is another thing. And that's where you can overreact to things or react to things that aren't there that can open you up. It's one thing if you, there's this pushing that head off. No good. Don't do that. Holyfield creeping in with his feet. If you would have shot in a double, it probably would have landed, don't you think? Or maybe a triple. That's the end of that round. Let's see how this starts. And see, that's the thing is that, sure, those didn't land, but it put Douglas in a position where he wasn't throwing anything. He had nothing to get. Now, he tried to land the hook as he came in on that double jab. That's a good one. Nice. Catch the jab, shoot the jab. The key, though, is that Holyfield's pushing off his back foot. All right? And that's something I haven't talked about earlier, I didn't touch on, is that Holyfield's pushing off his back foot with that jab, and that's what's obviously getting in with the double jab, but that's what gets him to get some snap on it too, which makes it not an enjoyable punch to get hit by. And there's an example of a different start. Beautiful work by Douglas. That's what I was thinking was coming up. Is you watch here, watch Douglas. He's gonna feint step. See that? So he feinted with his feet and the body a little bit. The feet, feint step. Then he shot the jab, and that landed him for the right hand. So remember that. Just mixing up the starts. If you always just start with the punch, it's not good enough. You got to feint. Nice. Catching a jab by Holyfield. Beautiful. Super basic. But like any coach will tell you, you don't see the basics enough. Nice double jab. And Holyfield almost got that right hand on the lean. And if anything off of that, what did Douglas do? So let's use what we just talked about earlier that Holyfield did way back there. Do you remember that Holyfield, he got hit earlier with a feint and then a jab, right? Douglas feinted the jab and then jabbed and connected it, and Holyfield was stepping out, leaning out a little bit, got hit by it, and he's been maintaining this long range. Then right after that, all of a sudden, smothers inside the left hook. And then right after that, a little bit after that, we saw Douglas doing what? Slipping over to the right side. He slipped past the jab over that right side, and then Holyfield tries to hit him with the right hand. What does he do? He steps out a little bit so that it doesn't connect. Holyfield can adjust for that, right? He can step in a little bit with the right hand, get a little bit closer maybe with the jab. But what does Douglas do to correct for that? He smothered. The long guy smothered to change up the range on the short guy. So watch. Boom, steps in. See that? That's why that right hand didn't land. See, it's easy to sometimes just see up top and not realize what's really happening. Like, why didn't that shot land? Because it was smothered. It was smothered. One more time. Got to give Douglas credit for that. That's what a good fighter does. Boom. Inside. It took it off, man. If he would have just stayed there, he would have got connected. If he would have pulled back, it looked like Holyfield was coming in a little bit harder. Might have landed it. Nice. Nice by Holyfield getting away from the hook. And that's nice as well. Holyfield saw that right hand. Slips. Whoop. Bop. Hit that body on that side. Then he steps in with the hook again. Pushing the head down. Illegal. But Holyfield changing up his attack. Because, think about it too. What just happened? Slipped, stepped in, changed it up, smothered the short guy, knocked him off balance a little bit with a little bump. Holyfield's like, okay, I got to change up my attack a little bit. He's still going to do the jabs, but he knows he has to keep on mixing it up. And that's the knockout. So watch how that was set up. Feint. Boom. Feint. Boom. Feint. Step back. Boom. Feint. Step back. Boom. Now, if you'll see, Douglas was looking to throw the hook after it. He was slipping to his rear side, to his right side, coming back with the uppercut. He's going to come back with a left hook. And Holyfield shot the right hand inside. That's half timing. That's putting the shot right in the middle of it. Not throwing it at the same time as someone, because then he might have got hit by the hook. Let's watch it in slow-mo here. So here, feint. Bounces back a little bit, right outside the uppercut. Boom. And see, Bo wanted to come back with that hook, but it was too late. It was beautiful timing. And also, Holyfield was not admiring his work. He didn't want to miss the opportunity. He was coming back with more punches. And if Douglas would have stayed up, he would have kept going with punches within reason until the guy went down. Beautiful. And also, Holyfield's hand was there to catch the uppercut if he misjudged the range. Watch it from here. So, feint. Or rather, excuse me. Yeah, that's basically a jab, right? I called it a feint too early. Feint here, and then boom. And then one thing to think about is when you're stepping outside with stepping out, or rather, if you want to land a quick right hand, what's the quickest way to throw it? All right, quickest way to throw a right hand is not from like here, okay? It's from here. This position right here, bam, it's just right there, and it comes from the rotation of the body. Old school boxing is like everything's somewhere in this arena, all right? Newer school, it's more here. Obviously, there's a lot of variances nowadays, and it's good. So, and remember, there's advantages to being here, there's advantages to being here, and there's disadvantages to both, all right? But remember that if you want to be in a position that you want to land a quick lead right hand or a right hand counter off of this position, it's closer. Think about it, just that little bit of space. What, 6 inches is that? Maybe 7, 8 inches? That makes a lot of difference in the speed in which a punch connects. But also, it put himself in a position where he was ready to catch that uppercut if the shot was coming. Again, a good thing for a short fighter to know is that, look, you got to worry about that uppercut. You got to keep this here. Sometimes, you got to watch out for the left hook too. But keep this here for the jab and the uppercut, because a lot of times that's what people are going to try to land, and that's where you can shoot quick right hands off of that. A lot of times I didn't land right hands because a lot of times I was trying to throw them from here because I wanted to get that kind of maximum power. I felt, like you're throwing a baseball. I wouldn't load it up like that, but from here, bam. But throw from here, it's almost like a jab. So that's the wrap up for that. I hope you learned a lot from today. I know you did, or at least if not learned something, reiterate something that you've probably been forgetting about or probably need to put back into your work. Remember that as a short boxer, you can box. You can outbox a longer boxer. You can jab. You just got to be double, triple jab. And you got to manage your range. The worst thing you can do as a short boxer is, frankly, to do what, like Joe Frazier. Sorry, Joe. I love Joe Frazier so much. I base a lot of my style off of him, or Henry Armstrong, where you just stay there, move your head, move your head. It's a very taxing style, and it's not a very long-lasting style. Versus Holyfield style is a more basic style. You don't have to be, even though Holyfield was, but you don't have to be able to take the biggest punch. You don't have to be the most rugged guy that's willing, or gal is willing to get the heck beat out of you. You can be smart. You can be light on your feet. You can be stepping out of range a little bit, so you're not a punching bag for the longer person. Just tee off and get their exact range. So anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Watch out for the next one.